엄청난 에너지를 춤으로 뿜어내는 나라. 감당할 수 있겠니?
Hello and welcome. It's around 5:15 p.m. here in Seoul. I'm Ji-young, bringing you special live coverage of South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol's special lecture at King Saud University in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It's the first time in the university's history that a foreign leader is delivering a keynote address. Now, at any moment, President Yoon will give a speech likely focusing on the era of digital transformation and the need for a new universal digital order. He's expected to emphasize the role of young people in South Korea and Saudi Arabia as first movers in pioneering new areas and highlight that the driving force of innovation is the younger generations. He's also likely to note the importance of cooperation of young people between the two countries. President Yoon has been stressing the need to close the digital gap between countries as disinformation could threaten human dignity, democracy, and freedom. For this, he declared the New York initiative last year, calling for technology to be developed and used to protect dignity and freedom. He also introduced the Paris Initiative earlier this year, calling for digital norms while meeting young people in Paris. At King Saud University today, he'll likely call on the young generations to contribute in bridging the digital divide between countries and bringing peace to the world. Now, President Yoon is currently in Saudi Arabia and will be heading to Qatar on Tuesday, being the first Korean leader to make official state visits to the two Gulf states. Traveling with a delegation of corporate chiefs, he aims to boost economic cooperation with the two countries and provide support for security in the Middle East. During his summit talks with Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman on Sunday, President Yoon expressed his strong will to deepen the strategic partnership between the two countries. In response, the Crown Prince welcomed President Yoon's state visit to the country. Now it looks like President Yoon is to start his keynote address, so let's go live to the scene.
소개해드리겠습니다.
السلام عليكم. مزيد تركاوي رئيس إدارة الارتباطات العالمية، فخامة رئيس جمهورية كوريا، أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، أيها الحضور الكرام، أيها السيدات والسادة، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بأسمى معاني الفخر والحب والتقدير والاحترام نرحب بفخامتكم وبكل من حضر معكم في رحاب جامعة الوطن، جامعة الملك سعود. ضيفا عزيزا حللت أهلا ووطئت سهلا. وفي هذا اليوم المتميز يطيب لي أن أشير إلى أن جامعة الملك سعود هي أقدم وأعرق جامعة في المملكة العربية السعودية. أخيرا وليس آخرا، أود أن أكرر ترحيبي بفخامتكم في بلدكم الثاني، ونأمل أن تساهم هذه الزيارة في تحقيق الكثير من المنافع والإنجازات المتبادلة بين البلدين.
네, 그럼 감사합니다.
Thank you very much.
네, 계속해서 대한민국 윤석열
We
대통령님의
would like
강연이
to
있겠습니다.
invite
여러분 큰
the
박수로
President
모시겠습니다.
of the Republic of Korea, Mr. Yoon Suk-yeol, to the podium.
والآن أدعو فخامتكم لإلقاء كلمتكم لأجيال مستقبل المملكة المعاصرة. تفضلوا فخامة الرئيس.
His Excellency Yusuf bin Abdullah Al Benyan, the Minister of Education of Saudi Arabia, Dr. Badran Al Omar, President of King Saud University, and the future leaders of the world. I am delighted to meet you all of you at King Saud University, the first university in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I am also very honored to be the first foreign leader to speak at King Saud University. This is a personal honor for me. Today,
청년 여러분과 함께
I would like to talk with you
사우디아라비아와
about the bilateral relationship between Saudi Arabia and the Republic of Korea, and also the university and the youth. How can they lead the future? This is the topic of my speech today. It has been 61 years since Saudi Arabia and Korea established diplomatic relations. However, the history of exchange between the two countries goes back more than 1,000 years. Our two countries was traded through this road called the Incense Road, and cultural exchanges took place during BC 7th to 8th century, which was Silla dynasty in Korea. We had exchanges through sea, and in particular, during the Goryeo dynasty of Korea, which was in the 10th century, we had this place, a port called Byeongnam-do, and this was the place where exchanges with many foreign countries took place, including Arabia, Saudi Arabia. And around this time, the Arabian people called Korea Kore or Korea, and it became widely known throughout the world. And this is the official name of the Republic of Korea, and this name was named by the merchants of Arabia. I don't know if you know this fact. The Arabian merchants, they were the leading forces of the exchange between East and West. And they were really well known, and they knew about the geography, about the East and the West. And the Arab geographer Al-Idrisi drew a map of the world in 1154 with the support of the Norman king Ruggiero II. And in this map, it doesn't include Europe, but it labels Korea as Al-Shilla. And this is how the long history has been between the two countries. The Republic of Korea was invaded 7 decades ago in 1950 by communist forces, and we fought a bloody war, and all throughout the country, it was covered with ruins of the war. However, it achieved remarkable economic development called a miracle, the miracle of the Han River. This growth of the Republic of Korea has been fueled by people's passion for education, the government's strategic investment in industry, and most of all, close cooperation with the international community. And in the 1970s, we had infrastructure cooperation between Korea and Saudi Arabia, and this is a special partnership that we had. And with such, we constructed highways, and it has been an important stepping stone in the economic development of the Republic of Korea. Now the Republic of Korea has moved from being a recipient of aid to a giver of aid, with the education sector receiving about 300 billion won in aid this year. It's giving 300 billion won in aid. South Korea is also leading the way in advancement and innovation in cutting-edge technology sectors such as semiconductors, secondary batteries, and AI. Saudi Arabia has established Vision 2030 to prepare for the post-oil era and is promoting the Neom City project, a blueprint for smart high-tech cities. Also, the kingdom is transforming its key industries into digital, eco-friendly, and green industries. And it is also working very hard toward developing skilled workforce.
이러한 변화와
And such
혁신을
transformation and
이끌어가는
innovation is being led by Saudi Arabia and its vision. And I would like to express my salute and also my support
킹사우드대
to such
학생과
vision.
교수진 여러분,
Dear King Saud students
한국과
and
사우디는
faculty,
새로운 분야를
the Republic of
개척하고
Korea and Saudi
이끌어가는
Arabia must become first movers
이제 거듭
to pioneer
나아간다고
and
생각합니다.
lead in new fields.
혁신을 통해 비약적 성장을 이룬 나라들은
Countries that have
예-
achieved
예외
rapid
없이
growth through
창의와
innovation
다양성을
have, without exception,
존중하면서
fostered future
미래의
talent
인재를
while respecting
양성했습니다.
creativity and
변화와 혁신을
diversity.
만들고 실천해
The
나가는
driving force that
원동력은
creates and implements change
미래
and
세대의
innovation
청년
is the
여러분입니다.
future generation, the
그리고
youth.
청년 여러분을
all of you.
길러내는
And
플랫폼인 바로 대학입니다.
the platform, which is the university.
대한민국 정부는 정책 결정
The South
과정에서
Korean government
청년의
is
중요성을
hiring youth assistants in all ministries because we understood very early on about the importance of youth,
기득권 세력화되어 있지 않고 편견이
and
없습니다.
they are not prejudiced and they do not have vested interests. And that is why
이런 청년
we
보좌역들을
have hired
부처에
these young assistants as
정책의
policy
동반자로
partners in the
참여시키고
policy-making process.
사우디아라비아는
Saudi Arabia
30세 이하 청년들이
is a young country
인구의
with young people
63%를
under
차지하는
30, making up
젊은
63% of the population.
김치적인 사우디 청년들은
Enterprising
창업에
Saudi
적극적이고
youth are active in
새로운
starting
문화와
businesses
기술에 대한
and are highly
수용성도
receptive
매우
to
높습니다.
new cultures and technologies.
빈살만
Crown
왕세자는
Prince bin
경제와
Salman
사회
has
모든
worked to
분야에서
raise the role and
청년과
status of
여성의
youth and women
역할과
in all
위상을
sectors
높이는
of
데
the economy and
힘써
society.
이제 이 자리에 계신
And all
여러분들이
of you who are here
사우디아라비아
are the
미래의
protagonists of Saudi Arabia's future,
학생과 교수진 여러분.
students and faculty.
장차 한국과
The friendly
사우디아라비아의
and cooperative
우호
relationship
협력
between the
관계는
Republic of Korea and Saudi Arabia
학생과
can be
전문가들이
deepened in the future when students and professionals from both countries actively interact and conduct research
미래
together.
한국과 사우디의
The future Republic of
우호
Korea and
협력은
Saudi
바로
Arabia,
미래 세대인 여러분에게 달려 있는
the
것입니다.
cooperation really lies in your hands.
올해 10월 초에 세계
In
최대
early
규모의
October this year,
K-컬처
the
페스티벌인
world's largest
K-con
K-culture
사우디아라비아
festival, K-Con Saudi
2023이
Arabia 2023, was
성공적으로
successfully held in
개최되었다고
Riyadh.
들었습니다. K-pop, K-드라마,
K-pop,
K-푸드에
K-drama, and
높은 관심을
K-food,
가지고
and your
성원을
interest and
보내주시는
support in them,
사우디의 청년
I would like
여러분께
to thank
깊이
all of you,
감사드립니다.
especially the Saudi youth,
대한민국
for this.
정부는 보다
The
많은
Republic of Korea
사우디
government
청년들이
will
한국을
continue to
방문해서
support more Saudi youth to
한국어를
visit
배우고
Korea,
한국
to
문화를
learn the
체험하며
language, experience our
다양한
culture,
분야의
and
교육과
participate
연구에
in
참여할
education
수
and
있도록
research in
적극
various
지원해 나갈
fields.
것입니다. 한국의 대학에서
We
공부하기를
will
희망하는
expand the government's scholarship support for Saudi students who wish to study at Korean universities.
또한 바이오,
Also, we will
재생에너지
develop study abroad programs in Korea that focus on areas of interest to Saudi students, such as research in cutting-edge fields as biomedical and renewable energy, and strengthening women's leadership.
킹사우드 학생
Dear
여러분,
King Saud students,
저는 여러분이
I hope
더욱
that
큰
you
꿈과
will face the
포부를
future
안고
with even greater
미래를
dreams
향해
and
도전하기를
aspirations.
여러분 가운데서
I hope that
영내의 평화와
leaders will emerge
세계의
from
평화와
among
번영을
you who will
진작하는 데
take the lead in
앞장서는
promoting peace in the
많은
region
리더들이
as well
배출되기를
as the
바랍니다.
world.
또한
I
디지털의
also
고도화
hope
시대에
that you
인류의 삶을
will be able to
더욱
contribute
윤택하게
to
할
the advancement of
디지털
digital
진보에
technologies
기여하는
that will further enrich
인재들이
human life in the
많이
era of digital
탄생하기를
sophistication and advancement.
그러한 과정에서
In this
한국과
process, I hope
사우디아라비아의
that the
청년들이
youth of Korea and
함께
Saudi Arabia
협력하고
will collaborate
성장하기
and
바랍니다.
grow together.
여러분에게 꼭 하고 싶은 말이
This is
있습니다.
something I would really like to
여러분의
tell you.
선조인 아라비아인들이
Your ancestors, the
동서양의
Arabians,
문물 교류에
they were
선도적
the
역할을
protagonists and they led
인류 문명의
the exchange between the East and the
발전과
West. And
풍요로운
the
번영에
civil advancement and the enrichment of the culture was greatly contributed by them. I hope you really keep this in mind. Thank you very much.
네, 말씀 감사합니다.
Thank you for those words. Thank you.
شكرا فخامة الرئيس على المحاضرة
네,
القيمة.
대통령님께서는 그대로 계셔주시면
So,
저희가 바로
Mr.
질의응답
President, could
시간
you please
이어가도록
stand
하겠습니다.
there? So
네,
we will
학생들과의
the
질의응답
following
시간이고요.
will be Q&A session with the
질의응답은
students.
한국어, 아랍어 순차 통역으로 진행됩니다.
The Q&A session will be held in consecutive interpretation.
네, 질문 있으신 학생은
if you have
현장에서
any
손을
questions,
들어주시면
please raise your hands.
والآن نبدأ جزئية الأسئلة والأجوبة. هناك مجالات لأربعة أسئلة يطرحها الطلاب، 2 من على المنصة و2 من الجمهور. فمن يرغب بطرح سؤاله يقوم برفع يده لأخذ الموافقة ليقوم الطالب بالتعريف بنفسه واختصاصه من على المنصة.
네, 손 들어주신 분 질문해
Please
주십시오.
show your hand.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. عويد علي من كلية التمريض. صباح الخير فخامة الرئيس. بالنظر إلى الشغف الكبير بالكيبوب والدراما الكورية في المملكة العربية السعودية، هل ستقدم الحكومة الكورية أي دعم للشباب السعودي الراغبين في تعلم اللغة والثقافة الكورية؟
대통령님 안녕하십니까?
Hello, Mr. President. In Saudi Arabia, the K-content is gaining a lot of popularity, and therefore the interest in Korea is on the rise. There are many Saudi youth who would like to learn culture of Korea. Do you have anything that you can support them in terms of your government?
한국어와 한국 문화에 대한
Well, your interest in Korean language and Korean culture, I would like to be very grateful, and I would like to thank you for this.
حماستكم في تعلم اللغة الكورية واهتمامكم بالثقافة الكورية.
국가 간의 교류와
The exchanges between countries and cooperation between countries, what is most important and what goes before the economic cooperation is the people of the two people, and amongst them the youth of the two countries. Their interest, their bilateral interest in others' culture is the most important.
أهم شيء في تبادل والتعاون وتعزيزها بين الدول أكثر من التعاون الاقتصادي أنه اهتمام ثقافي وبين الشباب وبين الأجيال القادمة وكذلك بين الشعب العام.
And today, as I'm here at King Saud University, one of the reasons why I'm here is because of this too.
هذه الجامعة بنفس السبب.
한국 학생들에게도
Korean students,
아랍어와 아랍 문화에 대한
the
관심이
Arab language and the Arabian culture is really growing amongst Korean students. And in Korea, one of the languages for the college entrance exam, it has been about 20 years since the Arab language was included.
لديهم اهتمام كبير وإقبال شديد للغات الكورية عفوا اللغة العربية واللغة الثقافية الثقافة العربية. فيوجد هناك الامتحان للغة العربية للدخول الجامعة منذ 20 سنة في كوريا.
다소 늦은 감이 있습니다만
Although it might be a bit late, but last year
청년들에게
to
한국어를
Saudi youth
가르치는
there was a program and the language institute called Sejong Institute. Sejong is the name of the great king of the Joseon dynasty. And in this Sejong Institute, and Sejong was the one who made the Korean letters and Korean language letters. And with this Sejong Institute being established in Saudi Arabia, it was established last year. And this is an educational facility where you can learn Korean language and culture. And since we are living in a digital era,
구축하고 있습니다.
We are also forging an online platform where you can learn Korean language and culture anytime, anywhere. And with the government fund,
정부 초청
we have the government invitation scholarship program that has been prepared, and the scale of this will be enlarged. And in the future, the educational institutions in Saudi Arabia, if there is any intention to establish a Korean department, we would like to support.
لدى الجامعة الأمير سلطان. فكما تعرفون جيدا إن اسم سيجونغ هو أحد من الملوك في الإمبراطورية جوسون، وهو من اخترع الأبجدية الكورية لكي يتعلم الشعب الكوري بسهولة. فيوجد أيضا برامج خاصة لتدريس اللغة الكورية في المدارس الإعدادية والابتدائية الخارجية. فأيضا تتوفر مواقع الإنترنت المختلفة التي تديرها الحكومة لكي نتيح الفرصة لتعلم اللغة أينما تكون. ويوجد هناك أيضا برامج لزيارة الطلاب الأجانب إلى جمهورية كوريا لحساب الحكومة الكورية.
شكرا فخامة الرئيس.
감사합니다.
Thank you.
شكرا فخامة الرئيس. والآن نأخذ السؤال الثاني من طالب أو طالبة.
감사합니다. 이제 두
Thank
번째
you. We will cater to the second question.
네, 질문을 해주시고 착석하시면 되겠습니다.
Please ask your question and you could be seated.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أنا أثير العلي، طالبة تخطيط عمراني بكلية العمارة والتخطيط. علمتك أن زيارتك تعتبر أول زيارة لرئيس كوريا إلى المملكة العربية السعودية. لماذا اخترت زيارة جامعة الملك سعود في ضوء جدولك المزدحم؟ وما هو الأهم بالنسبة لك في العلاقات الدولية بين كوريا والسعودية؟
저는
Well, I am majoring in constructional engineering. As the president of Korea, you are making the first state visit, and amidst your busy schedules, do you have any reasons why you came to our university? And the bilateral relations, for it to go to in the future-oriented way, what do you think is the most important factor?
감사합니다.
Thank you.
저는 대학을 졸업한 지가
Well,
올해로
I graduated from university
40년이 됐습니다.
40 years ago.
제가 정치를 하면서
And as I entered into the politics,
많이 찾고
I visited a lot of universities.
해외 순방을 가는
And
경우에는
when I visit foreign countries,
그 나라의
I
학술 연구와
make
혁신을
sure
선도해
that I have a chance to visit universities that are leading the research of that nation. And during my state visit to Saudi Arabia, why I came to King Saud University is because this is the country where it is leading the transformation and innovation of the nation.
إنني تخرجت من الجامعة منذ 40 سنة، ولكن بعد أصبحت سياسيا وبعد أصبحت رئيسا للجمهورية إنني أزور الجامعات كثيرة، وخاصة إذا أزور دولة أخرى خارج دولة. أنا دائما أزور الجامعات التي تكون رائدا في مجالات البحوث والابتكار، ولذلك أنا جئت هنا جامعة الملك سعود لأنها مشهورة جدا ومرموقة في التغيير والابتكار والإبداع.
그리고 이 빈 살만 총리를 비롯해서
Crown Prince bin Salman and
정치, 경제, 과학 기술의
political, economic, and cultural leaders of Saudi Arabia are the alumni of King Saud University. Also, the large amount of international cooperation and exchanges with the international community is what King Saud University has the specifics for. And university plays a pivotal role for the future-oriented society. And without excellent students or universities, it is impossible to build an innovative and future-oriented country. And for the bilateral collaboration and mutual improvements and advancements of the two countries, the close cooperation between the universities, between the two countries, the government of Korea will support in this effort.
المسؤولين المرموقين في المملكة العربية السعودية بما فيهم طبعا ولي العهد أمير محمد بن سلمان، كذلك كبار المسؤولين في مجالات السياسية والاقتصادية والعلوم وغيرها من المجالات. وأعتقد أن هذه الجامعة وسمعت أيضا أنها لدى تنافسية على مستوى العالمي، لأنها تتباهى بالتعاون الدولي مع الجامعات الأخرى. فأعتقد أن الجامعة هي من أهم عناصر لتطوير الدولة. فإذا لم يكن هناك تطوير المواهب الإنسانية والبشرية وبدون الطلاب الجيدين لن يكون هناك أي تطور في الدولة. فأعتقد أنني سوف أبذل قصارى جهدي لتعزيز التعاون والتبادل بين الجامعات، ومنها جامعة الملك سعود مع جامعات الكورية لتطوير الدولة لكي يخدم لكلا الطرفين.
شكرا فخامة الرئيس. لنأخذ سؤال ثالث هذه المرة من طالب.
Thank you very much. We will cater to the third question from the student.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. فخامة الرئيس، أنا سعود بن إبراهيم المقحم من كلية الحقوق والعلوم السياسية في جامعة الملك سعود. سعيدين بوجود فخامتكم ونجدد بكم الترحيب في رحاب جامعة الوطن جامعة الملك سعود. وسؤالي لفخامتك، كما ذكرت في خطابك أن كوريا شهدت تطورا اقتصاديا ملحوظا بعد حرب كوريا عام 1950 ميلادي المعروفة بمعجزة نهر الهان. وسؤالي لفخامتك، كيف ترى وما هو رأيك في هذا النجاح المبهر الذي حققته كوريا بعد تلك الحقبة؟ شكرا.
I am studying law and my name is Saud, and I would like to welcome President Yoon to our university, and we thank you very much. As you said, South Korea experienced a war in 1950, and despite this, it has achieved a lot of economic developments, and this is dubbed as the miracle on the Han River. What is your take on this such economic development? As I briefly mentioned earlier, the Korean people's passion for education was actually the most significant, I believe. Everything was ruined due to the war, and from the ashes of war, people had the passion to educate their children, and they understood that that was the utmost priority, and that was our ancestors' opinion back then, and I believe that was correct.
على الرغم من دمار الشامل الذي خلفته الحرب الكورية، فقد عززت كوريا المواهب المتميزة المساهمة في تنمية الوطن من خلال التعليم، لأن الشعب الكوري في ذلك الحين لقد يعتقد أن التعليم هو شيء المهم والأهم لتطوير الدولة.
So since 1950s, the Republic of Korea, from the households to the country itself, we were very passionate in investing in education. And since the 1960s, the Korean people, the high level of education and their diligence was known to the outside world. And Korea did not have any infrastructure or any of its resources And despite this, many international investors invested in Korea because they believed in the potential of people's educational level. And I believe this was the second factor for the achievement of the miracle of the Han River.
سوف يلي في الخمسينيات القرن الماضي كان البيوت والاجتماع والدولة لقد يعني لم تكرس وقتهم أو أموالهم للاستثمار في التعليم. ومن الستينيات القرن الماضي لقد قطرت دول المتطورة التعليم والاجتهاد للشعب الكوري. لذلك بائتمان وبإيمان وبثقة لهذه الحماسة الشعب الكوري للتعليم والتطوير، رغم أن كوريا كانت لم تكن هناك أي بنية تحتية اقتصادية أو تكنولوجية، لكن الدول الأخرى المتطورة لقد استثمرت في الاقتصاد والتكنولوجيا. فأعتقد أنه هو سبب ثاني للنمو الاقتصادي الذي يسمى أيضا نهر هان، معجزة نهر هان.
그래서 탄탄대로의 성장을
So we have
성장
experienced
가도를 달리던 한국에도
the
위기가
really
찾아왔습니다.
bright future of development, but we were also faced with crisis. In the 1970s, we had this oil shock, and this was the external shock that came to our country, and the domestic economy fell dramatically, and more than 100,000 of Korean youth was participating in the Saudi Arabia's projects, and we were able to overcome such difficulties and crises, and such aspects are playing an important role to our economic development, the cooperation with Saudi Arabia.
كانت كوريا لديها مشكلات كثيرة، لم تكن هناك يعني دائما قصص النجاح. فكانت السبعينات القرن الماضي واجهت جمهورية كوريا وخاصة الاقتصاد الكوري صعوبات كبيرة أمام الارتفاع الحديد للنفط الخام. ولذلك جاء الكوريين عمال الكوريين الذين يبلغ عددهم تقريبا 100,000 شخص إلى المملكة العربية السعودية للمشاركة في مشاريع البنية التحتية في المملكة. ولذلك من الأهمية بمكان أن نقدر التعاون مع المملكة العربية السعودية من حيث الاقتصاد والبنية التحتية لكي نحصل على النجاح الذي نراه هذه الأيام.
네, 계속해서 마지막 질문
We
받겠습니다.
will
손
receive
들어주시기
one last question. Please show your hand.
네, 앞쪽에 계신 학생분 질문해 주십시오.
Person in the front row, please.
صباح الخير فخامة الرئيس. أنا الطالبة نوف الغامدي من كلية الحقوق والعلوم السياسية. حاليا السعودية لا تنتج السيارات، ونعتمد بشكل كبير على السيارات من كوريا مثل كيا وهيونداي. فبناء على ذلك نحن مهتمون بالسيارات التي تعمل بالهيدروجين والسيارات صديقة البيئة. آمل أن تتاح الفرصة لبلدينا في التعاون مستقبلا.
안녕하십니까?
Hello.
저는 법대
I
정치학과.
am also studying law and politics. In Saudi Arabia, the automobile industry is absent, and Kia and Hyundai, the Korean automobiles, are being imported. They are very much consumed in Saudi Arabia. So electric vehicles or hydrogen vehicles or autonomous driving vehicles are very much of our interest. Do you think there would be a possibility for the youth to participate in such projects? Thank you very much for the good question. Of course, indeed, it is my answer. This time, Hyundai Motor Company and Saudi Arabia, they have agreed on constructing an electric vehicle factory in Saudi Arabia, and I believe this is a symbol of the change in the collaboration between the two countries. Now the two countries are not merely exchanging a full implemented product, but we are a partner in making a product, and we are also cooperating in the process of producing a product. So this is the change. And of course, in this process, Saudi Arabia and the Korean youths will be the protagonists. We have automobile departments in universities and also in engineering colleges. We have mechanical engineering programs where you can learn automobile engineering. So if we have Saudi Arabian youths who would like to study in Korea in terms of the automobile industry, or would have an interest in such regard, and also if you have any plans to establish departments in this regard in Saudi Arabia, we would like to help in this. So you have a lot of opportunities ahead of you. All you have to do is to really take the challenge.
شكرا على سؤالكم جميل. طبعا يوجد هناك فرص كثيرة. أعتقد أنكم قد تعرفون أن شركة هيونداي للسيارات وبالتعاون مع الشركات السعودية سوف يكون هناك إنشاء المصنع لإنتاج السيارة الكهربائية في المملكة في القريب العاجل، وذلك أعتقد أنه معلم جديد للتعاون بين كوريا والمملكة العربية السعودية، بمعنى أن كوريا والسعودية لن يتبادل المنتجات التي قد منتجت من قبل فحسب، ولكننا سوف نطور وننتج معا مشتركا. فهذا ملامح التعاون جديد في المستقبل، وأعتقد وأشجع أنكم أنتم الشباب هم الأبطال في هذه العملية وهذا التغيير. فيوجد هناك بعض الجامعات والمعاهد البحوث الكبرى متعلقة وذات صلة بالسيارات وبالتكنولوجيا الهندسة المتعلقة بالسيارات وكذلك الكهربائية. فإذا كان هناك أي حركات لإنشاء الأقسام المتعلقة أو ذات صلة للسيارة في المملكة سوف ندعمها بشكل كامل. فالفرص مفتوحة أمامكم، ولابد لكم المغامرة وأخذ التحديات في المستقبل. هذا هو الشيء الوحيد يجب أن تفعلونه.
Thank you very much for those various questions and also very insightful answers by the President. We would like to wrap up the Q&A session. And with this, we would like to conclude the President of the Republic of Korea, Yoon Suk-yeol's special speech. Please give him a big round of applause.
شكرا لفخامتكم على الإجابات الوافية والرائعة، وشكرا للطلبة على الأسئلة القيمة التي طرحتموها. وفي الختام أشكر فخامة الرئيس على ما قدمه في زيارته للجامعة.
Well, that brings us to the end of our special coverage of President Yoon's keynote address at King Saud University in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Thank you for watching. Arirang News Center is coming up next.
Welcome